We need to talk about this. Who thought of this? Please tell me who actually thought this moveset was a good idea. I mean, you've got dashing, jumping, speed, CC, damage, even more damage, and to top it off, an ultimate move that activates half of those effects at once and hides the round timer. I mean, it's the thing itself is massive. Just look at how big this killer is. Jesus. Sixer is what happens when you go months without an update and try to live up to the expectations of your fanbase. Now don't get me wrong, the killer does look cool, considering all we've had so far is just the standard R6 models with a few accessories. Having this massive beast suddenly enter the Forsaken realm is a pretty novel thing, and I applaud the devs for actually managing to rig and make that entire thing work for all the maps. But like, guys, you couldn't have played this either just a bit? Honestly, the main problem with Sixer isn't any one ability, it's just how much she has. She's basically Cool Kid and Slasher with some Nolly motifs thrown in, and it just shows in how unfun Sixer is to play against. So let's break down exactly what makes this killer such a nightmare. First off, we have Manic Fixation, which is one of Sixer's strongest aspects. The idea is that while she's running toward highlighted survivors, she's faster, 10% during a chase and 20% outside of one. That doesn't sound too bad, you might say. Well, here's the kicker. In Forsaken, you are almost never actually registered as being in a chase. The game usually doesn't register you in a chase until the killer is practically breathing down your neck anyway, so Sixer suddenly has the ability to catch up to you very fast as long as you're highlighted. Pair this with Blood Rush, which is just a highlighter ability on its own, and you've got a killer that can close gaps absurdly fast. Honestly, I'd lower the speeds to like about 10% flat across the board. There's no point in having 20% outside of chase when Sixer already has multiple dash abilities to close distance anyway. Speaking of dashes, let's talk about Demonic Pursuit. This ability lets Sixer both dash and slash at you, or leap and slash at you, and it's basically a controllable Cool Kid walk speed overdrive with less wind up and the ability to jump over buildings. The problem here isn't just the ability itself, it's Sixer's hitbox. Since she's generally massive, this ability becomes very hard to dodge, especially when you factor in ping, where you might dodge out of it initially, but the killer's ping is so high that they haven't registered it yet, leaving you to simply roll back into the attack and eat it despite the fact that you should have dodged it. And then there's Eviscerate on top of this, which is basically Slasher's Behead on almost every other basic attack. Why does this exist? Why not just make Hemorrhage apply on basic hits instead of having an attack that's incredibly easy to land, deals 10 additional damage basically for free, and has a dash attached to it? Not to mention, due to Sixer's size, it just feels clunky to use even as the killer. I seriously believe this should just be removed entirely. Now, the Bloodhound mechanic and Blood Orbs aren't inherently bad. The problem is with hemorrhaging specifically. Hemorrhage drops Blood Orbs for Sixer while slowly depleting your ability to heal damage you've taken. Fine on paper, right? Well, here's the thing, there's a hidden mechanic that Forsaken just does not tell you about clearly anywhere in the game. Did you know Hemorrhage can actually be healed? Yes, healed, like in Dead by Daylight. However, for you to be able to do this, the hemorrhaging survivor has to click on you first, otherwise the prompt doesn't appear on your screen. This has led to so many situations where survivors, especially newer ones, literally don't know that they can be healed from hemorrhage, leaving them wandering around spilling blood orbs for Sixer while they could be getting healed instead. DBD lets you cancel the healing by pressing shift. The same should be done here, so anyone can initiate the heal. And all of this feeds into Blood Hunt, which is Sixer's ultimate ability. This is where so much shit happens that if I had to describe all of it, this video will genuinely be 40 minutes long. Basically, the idea is Guest 666 got enough blood orbs and is now very strong, and I suggest you run as far the hell away as possible. Also, your screen goes red. This might be controversial, but I actually have no problems with this ability apart from how easy it is to trigger. If the orbs needed to activate this were harder to get, I'd find this to be a pretty similar mechanic to the Rage mode from Outlast Memories, which I personally think is a pretty fun one. But as it stands, with how easy it is to rack up orbs between Hemorrhage and those Eviscerate hits, Blood Hunt comes around way too often. The only ability I generally have no issues with is Infernal Cry, which is basically the one where she yells. It's understandable, hard but not impossible to dodge, and has pretty fair effects. In a vacuum, I don't think it needs changes, but of course paired with all the other bullshit this killer has, it's still busted, but on its own it's fine. You thought I'd leave you with that? No, I have one way. One singular way that Sixer can be countered. Is it perfect? No. Is it difficult to pull off? Marginally. But it's one of the few ways you can actually stand a chance against the killer. Use their size against them. You see, in Forsaken, you usually loop a killer around structures, right? During looping, you have to U-turn around walls and all that, right? Well, usually a survivor and killer can turn that about the same speed due to their size. However, Sixer is a different story. Due to her massive hitbox, if you hug the wall close enough on a loop with very tight walls, you can generally outlast Sixer in stamina and piss the killer player off due to how hard it is to maneuver with her. It's not a guaranteed win, but it's your best shot at surviving for more than 30 seconds. So, is Guess 666 overpowered? Honestly, yeah. She's got too much going on. Speed boost, dashes, jumps, damage, CC, and an ultimate that makes her damn near unstoppable. She looks cool and is fun to play as, but playing against her, that's a different story. The devs clearly wanted to make something special after months without updates, and I respect that, but they need to dial it back. Lower the speed boosts, remove Eviscerate entirely, make him Warhead healing more intuitive, and make Bloodclot harder to trigger. Do that, and Sixer might actually be balanced instead of being a walking you lose button. If you've got your own strategies for dealing with Sixer, or you just want to vent about how broken she is like I did in here, drop a comment below. And if this video helped you, or at least validated your frustration, hit that like button and subscribe because I've got plenty more Forsaken content coming your way. Thanks for watching and good luck out there. You're gonna need it against that thing.